Ah, shit. This episode of the BRG podcast has been brought to you by our patrons. Here at BRG, we'd like to thank those patrons who have subscribed and donated. It is because of generosity like yours that makes this show possible.
On this episode of the podcast, we go ahead and catch up on, again, this week's news on games and other things, and some sad news at that. We also decide to go ahead and talk about a little bit of a kerfuffle, debacle, debate regarding Facebook and your privacy. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the BRG podcast with your host, that's me, WarpedJester, and of course, as always, the most beautiful, wonderful person in the second most beautiful person in the world, because person is me, but
Hi,
no,
guys.
this manly man, this bear of bears right here.
Hello, Warped.
Hi.
How's it going, man?
That's
Hi,
Kirrok,
guys.
by the
It's
way.
me, Kirrok. Yeah,
How you doing, Kirrok?
I'm great.
That's
Great.
good.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
That's good. Being great is a good thing. Being
Yeah.
alive is a good thing. I bounced off the hood of a car today, so I'm... It's a long story. It ended up with a very bad idea for a prank that ended up costing me $400. But I digress. Hey, guys, we are the BRG podcast, and we are but a small portion of the BRG community as a whole. We are a community of gamers, of media makers, of all kinds of fun people. We love to hang out and have fun. If you're interested in being a part of a group, whether it's just to hang out and have fun and game, or to be a part of something in terms of creating content, or being a part of things like this show, for example, definitely make sure you head over and check us out. If you type in Bottle Rocket Gaming, you're going to find a lot of our stuff. That's one way to go about it. Also, there are links down below that you can go check out, and we'll give you more details at the end of the show on some of the places you can find us most easily, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Anyways, tonight, we are going to have ourselves a little bit of fun here because we have the usual news and errata that's going on in the gaming world, along with some tech news, kind of interesting and sad, as well as some other random bits and bobs, which I always enjoy. And also for the second half of our show, we're going to be talking about what is the current soup du jour, which is Facebook fucking up when it comes to privacy and whatnot. And we'll have some interesting discussion on that. I'd be curious to kind of get people's opinions on it. Yeah. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and dive into this. And, we're going to dive into this. All right, boys and girls, let's go ahead and dive into the news. Actually, before we do, I'm just going to pull a little hop-esque thing here. Kirrok, what are you drinking this fine evening?
I don't know what you're talking a boot. It's called Wellington County Dark Ale, traditional, smooth, and distinctive.
Wow, that sounds classy and classic. Speaking of classic, actually, in the news tonight, our first article up by Engadget is Atari's retro console that has a new name but remains a tease. So basically what it boils down to is Atari has got a little more to show in terms of their system. And I gotta say, I'm very intrigued because the Atari box will now be known as the Atari VCS, which could be a video computer system, and obviously a nod to the 2600 for the style of it. That said, I like the controllers they're showing off. Of course,
it's cool.
The normal modern controller looks like a nice, comfortable controller. Of course, you're not going to know until you put it in your hands. But I love the retro. Retro
it's pretty slick looking.
So, anyways, it is expected that the company will announce a release date this April. So, by this April, we should know when that thing is coming. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really curious to see what it can do because I really want to know what's going to be playing on it.
Yeah. I want to know too. I'm really interested in seeing if this new set of things that I'm about to announce would play on it. We don't know yet, but Cyan. So Cyan is the company that created Myst. They are re-releasing the Myst series, all of the games in 2018, just in time for its 25th anniversary. Ooh. This is brought to you by Destructoid. So rejoice, all Myst lovers. Myself, Hamnisu,
All two of you, huh?
No, yeah, thanks. And trust me, I know, because this is awesome. Meaning the game has been re-released over and over and over again, but now they're going to actually have it supported in Windows 10, because some of the older versions that they have will play in Windows 10, but you got to jump through hoops, run compatibility mode. It freezes, it crashes.
Yep.
Now it's going to be actually natively running in Windows 10, which is pretty.
This will be really nice. I couldn't even get like Diablo 2 to play on my Windows 10 PC for a while, so yeah, having some old games that can actually run in modern systems, I'm totally down for.
I just really hope it's good that they're going to do it for Windows 10. I just really hope this triggers something to filter down the line to go up on the Switch and the Switch. Really, that's all I care for.
Things I'm not really sure I'm really thrilled about running on modern systems is PlayerUnknown's Battleground, which is now free for the iOS and Android. Now, just for clarity's sake, your hearing devices are in fact working. Yes, Battle the rather now famous for whining a lot in my book. PUBG is actually playable on iOS and on Android for free.
Yes.
Now, just make sure you don't get confused. This is a free-to-play game for mobile, on mobile, against mobile.
Yes.
Unlike its competitor and more popular alternative, which is Fortnite, which is also available on mobile specifically for iOS, but is cross-compatible with PC and consoles. Actually, it's on console?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
PS4?
Fortnite is on console.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna okay. All right. So the next article, that was great. That was a good article to let everyone know. The next article is actually from Polygon, and it's kind of weird because they took some information off The Verge, I think it was, where they're going, is PUBG mobile full of bots? Now I'm going to give you my own personal experience. I just spit on the camera.
God, two sips in, he's drunk. Ladies, he's an easy date.
I'm gonna give you my own personal experience. I played the game, and I probably played the game for a total of 15 minutes on one break, and then another 15 minutes on another. So let's say 30 minutes. First game I played, I had 3 kills, like that. And I was like, they had the drop on me. Why didn't I get killed? Because I'm thinking I'm playing against people, right? Yep. And then I played the next game, same thing. I killed 4 guys. I felt like a champion. I was like, I become the best guy ever.
Top of the world!
The Verge is saying that it's possible, but there's no confirmation on this, by the way, that the game is using bots against you to kind of ease you in, to give you the ability to get a grips in the game and how it works and everything. And that's why you come out on top looking and feeling like a champ. And then once you hit level 10, potentially, they say once you hit level 10, things change drastically because it starts mixing bots with actual humans. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's not a bad
I want to read the quote, but it's a pretty long quote. But it's just basically something that they think is what's happening. It's not confirmed, although they reached out, I believe, to Tencent. I'm like, are you serious?
So what you're saying is you're going to go ahead and invest a lot of time in this to hit that level 10 marker so you can start playing with people, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because I thought I was a champ, but I'm not. I just knew there was something up, and now I see this article that matches that. You know what I mean? Yeah, anyways,
let's talk about the more hyped and more popular version of things, which is Fortnite, which Fortnite's Battle Royale new Blitz mode is fast, fun, and perfect for mobile.
Yeah.
Now
it's on PC too.
To be fair, I have not played this. I have the Fortnite game, but I haven't had a chance to play the Battle Royale version of it. So I'm on the outside of this. But what it's saying is that Fortnite's mobile and battle blitz mode is an intense and fast alternative play. The game time limit that makes it a break.
It's okay.
Limited. The time limit. God, Kirok, just do this.
Yeah. So the game is basically time limited. It's break friendly, meaning you can actually get it done on a break at work. Just like the original, 100 players drop in a zone and an ever-shrinking circle. And Blitz mode doubles the harvest resources, increases high-end weaponry, decreases time between supply drops, So it ends up in total making the match a much faster match.
More of a frenzy.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen people play it on PC. Blitz mode is also available on PC, right? They're saying it's a perfect mode for the phone if you're
I wonder if it's
on
gonna
the go and
burn
you want to play.
people out.
Yeah, would it hurt their popularity and their success?
Yeah, it feels like it always feels like mobile games tend to get kind of burn out very quickly compared to other things.
Yeah,
so, I don't know. It's a different mentality. One place you're not playing Fortnite, at least as of yet, is on the HTC Vive.
That's correct. So this is great news for every VR person out there. HTC Vive Pro gets a price and a release date, and existing models actually get a price drop.
Mm-hmm.
This is brought to you by Rock, Paper, Shotgun. So release date has finally been set for the new HTC Vive Pro. That date is April 3rd, 2018. That's right around the corner. That's like 2 weeks away. 2 weeks. Yeah, it's about 2 weeks away. It's got the blue colored HDM or head mounted display, and it's going to cost you $799 US if you want to buy a pair of those for yourself. The original HTC Vive, which is the one I have, was actually getting a $100 US drop in price to $499 US.
Okay.
So it's going to basically be for $499 US. If you don't really want the capability of wireless or the better visuals, you can actually go for that. And it's still good. I use it. It's great.
There is a little caveat to this I have to point out.
Yeah.
If you buy the original one, it's going to be like a $500 kit with the headset and the beacons and everything.
Yeah.
If you buy the Pro, it's $800 for the headset. Which, if you already have a system set up, this is kind of basically you take this, you drop in and run with it.
Yeah.
If you don't have the system with
all the elements, all the components,
then this is not going to do you a lot of good because you're going to shell out a shit ton of money and not get the pieces and parts for it.
Ooh, that's not good. I didn't notice that in the article.
Yeah, that's a little thing there. So, anyways, just little caveat. Switching gears, tech news here, guys. I don't want to take things too long on this, but I do want to point this out. This is coming from Engadget as well as everybody else on this one. Uber has stopped all self-driving car tests after a fatal crash. Now, this almost became a main topic for us before the whole Facebook debacle. So, I'm going to try to just kind of quickly blow through this to give you guys information. What happened was the self-driving systems that Uber has running right now, they have a safety driver in the driver's seat so they can take over if they need to, but the car was in self-drive mode, and there's a person who was walking a bicycle across the street at night, and the car struck the person. Now, there's a whole lot of ways to go about this in terms of who's at fault, what happened, etc. The facts are this. The video's been released. You can find the video so you can actually see what happened. The notes they make about it is it was damned difficult to see the person. And I mean damn difficult to see the person.
Yeah.
You don't even see her in the headlights until the very last second. Not even a regular human being could have responded in time to stave off. The safety driver was not paying attention at that particular moment. They were looking down at something and did not see. So they could not have even taken action if they needed to because they weren't paying attention. But again, I don't think they even could in the first place. The person crossing the street had no lights, no reflectors, nothing. Was not crossing in a crosswalk. So a very unsafe aspect about it. But then on the flip side of this, why didn't the car see the person? The car made no attempt to hit the brakes at all. Now, this is at night, but these systems are supposed to be endowed with things like LiDAR and whatnot, things that don't rely on visible light in which to see. They should be able to see a map of things even in the dark.
Yes.
So there's a lot of questions being asked here. What I really want to stress to everybody is to read these kind of articles with interest because this is a learning moment. It is sad. Anybody getting hurt or killed is sad, but this is a learning moment that allows us to grow. This does not mean that these cars are faulty or that this concept cannot work. There are, for every instance of this happening in the time duration that the news has been going on about this, there have been several people struck by human-controlled vehicles.
Yep.
Okay, so Just bear that in mind. Please do not go into a frenzy of techno panic.
No.
This was inevitable. It was going to happen, but it is a big wake-up call for people because this is an AI that didn't really act the way we planned, and this is causing a big deal. And by the way, fuck yeah, that's my second fucking prediction for this year. Fuck all y'all. Anyways, moving on to a bit of the media rounds here, guys. I just have to point this out to you because Rick and Morty season 4 ain't coming yet because Cartoon Network hasn't ordered season 4 yet, which is absolutely fucking like, what the shit. Rick and Morty, if you haven't seen it, is a very popular, one of the most popular shows on Adult Swim for Cartoon Network. And for some strange reason, they haven't ordered season 4 yet. So I'm really confused about that. There isn't much more to say about this. It was actually discovered when a fan tweeted at the creator of Rick and Morty saying, "What the fuck, you drunkard? You know, get back to work and get this season 4 ready." And he's like, "Well, I'd love to, but nobody's asking for it yet." So yeah, you know, patience is a virtue, but then again, you know, people wanted some Szechuan sauce, and we saw videos of guys jumping on countertops yelling, "I want Szechuan sauce." So okay. Whatevers. Switching gears one more time, guys, here. We'll get through this as quickly as we can. Sorry it's running long here, but the news is always interesting. In other news, Vivendi is selling off Ubisoft Holdings and Tencent's buy-in. So if you guys remember,
news to me.
Yeah, if you guys remember, there's a big old to-do about Ubisoft and Vivendi trying to do a hostile takeover of Ubisoft. It looks like Ubisoft has finally won. Vivendi is relenting, and they are selling off their Ubisoft stock. Now, just some quick little details here. Vivendi is selling 30 million shares of Ubisoft stock at $81 US per share. So that's a pretty decent cut. Roughly $2.45 billion. Now, the really interesting little side note to that is in the process of selling off, of course, when you already sell a stock, there's got to be a buyer. In this particular case, the two big names that are actually buying up the stock, one is a Ontario teachers pension plan. This is very common. Pension plans will buy stock and things. That's how they perpetuate money for their retirement plans.
Got it. Okay.
The other company that's buying a large, they're buying like $3.8 million worth of stock. The other entity that's buying up a total of $5.6 million in stock is a small company you've heard of called Tencent. Hostile Takeover Part 2. One more, guys. One more.
Wait. Okay, guys. So this was brought to us by Polygon, and well, Pornhub is being touted as the next real possible YouTube alternative. So
because guns.
Because guns. So YouTube's been cracking down on hate speech, bullying, conspiracy theory videos, all kinds of things like that. And it sent people searching for alternatives. And it looks like Pornhub might actually be their savior, might actually be the answer. So the search began when people began posting screenshots of gun videos, content that YouTube recently announced it was placing stricter restrictions on. So actually, believe it or not, I love watching those gun videos. I have a favorite. His name is Demolition Ranch. I don't know if you've ever seen him. Sorry. But anyways, it's true. I do. And so apparently YouTube's cracking down on them. And apparently some photos and potentially videos of guns and stuff like that were showing up on Pornhub, which is pretty cool. So Pornhub might actually become the next YouTube. I'm going to start, once we finish recording this thing, I'm going to start putting my Mafia 3 videos up there, damn it.
And there you go, guys. Now you know what get your Mafia fix at. All right, guys, let's go and wrap this up so we can go ahead and move on. We'll be right back.
Okay, guys.
Welcome back to another game releases with me, Kirrok, for Bottle Rocket Gaming. Guys, there's only a few, but they're all good, heavy hitters. Let's check them out. And your first game is on March 27th. It is Outlast 2 for the Nintendo Switch. It is an adventure / horror thriller type game. And all I gotta say is, I knew it. I knew it. It was like less than a month ago that the developers released Outlast for the Switch. Not a peep from them, not any warning, and now again, Outlast 2, exactly the same thing. It is a horror type game, and it's not a new game. It's been out for a bit, but it gives us guys who haven't had a chance to play 1 or 2 a chance to actually play it now on an awesome console. And your next game, also on March 27th, is MLB The Show 18 for 2018. It is for PS4 only, and it is a sports game. So if you're a baseball fan, then this is the game for you. I mean, what more is there to say? It is baseball. The graphics are clean and sharp, and the gameplay is just as intense as the real thing. Let's put it this way. If a friend of yours walked in the room while you were playing it, they might do a double take at the TV and say, hey, what game is going on? Meanwhile, you're playing a video game. All I've got to say is, play ball. And your last game, also on March 27th, is Far Cry 5. And this is out for PC, PS4, Xbox One. It is a first-person shooter, guys. Now, I've talked about this before on the game releases. We're no stranger to it. It's finally here. It's finally come out. This game has to do with a bunch of, I don't know, what am I going to call them, religious, cultist fanatics that are just kind of taking over a town by the name of Hope, I believe it is. And you come in and you try and free people from it. And it sometimes in a case like that, it takes some violence. Graphics look pretty cool. Gameplay looks like it's the good old traditional Far Cry stuff. Check it out, guys. You're going to enjoy this game. And that's it, guys. Those are your game releases for the week. Not many, but some heavy hitters, as I mentioned initially. I hope you enjoyed that, and I can't wait to see you guys again next week. Bye for now.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead and dive into the main topic tonight, which again is going to be about the whole Facebook debacle and what's going on in terms of your privacy or lack thereof it. Now, I'm going to preface this conversation with I am definitely going to be playing the side of the asshole here in terms of how I feel about this. Now, that said, I'll give you a little more insight about how I feel about it and my take on it. But nevertheless, I want to tell you the details of what happened first. So there are a couple of major players here. The two we're going to focus on is going to be Facebook, which you should all know what Facebook is by now, I'm hoping, and Cambridge Analytica, which is a analytics company of sorts. Now, what happened? So to start us off here, what happened actually happened literally years ago, back in
a little while back,
2014 originally. So back in this time, there was an issue. Well, there was a system set up with Facebook where third parties could interact with Facebook's data upon request, just by native aspects. To give you an example here, you could create let's say a quiz. Take a quiz. What Apple are you? Kind of quiz. And by the agreement with how Facebook works, that company could extract data from you for their own use in analytics. And that's exactly what Cambridge Analytica did.
Yep.
You do a survey and collect your data. However, Facebook's had a little caveat in their rules and settings, which was if your Facebook settings are set right, that you could legally have your stuff grabbed by a source because your friend took the survey. And again, that's exactly what happened here.
So just to make sure I got that clear, if I took the survey and you're my friend on Facebook, but you didn't take the survey, just by the fact that you're my friend, they're allowed to take your data because I took the survey.
If my settings are set as such.
As your settings, okay.
Yeah. And as luck would have it, the default setting in Facebook is yes,
allow data to be shared.
So
yeah,
that's kind of the issue. Well, that's an issue I have with it. That's not actually the problem with him, but just recently here. In any case, so legitimately, Cambridge Analytica was allowed to do this. Now they polled 50 million users worth of data for what was effectively a small compassing people. There weren't 50 million people that took their surveys. They just happened to be able to take that much information because one person takes a survey and they've got hundreds of friends and they could grab all of that together.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a problem, but that was legitimate. That was actually within Facebook's terms of services with these companies. Where shit hit the fan, at least the first step is, when Cambridge Analytica took that data and shared it with another entity. That's where things went awry. And again, this is all a couple of years ago. Facebook's had a kind of an issue with this. They basically told them, you will destroy all data and you will send a certification that you did such. And Cambridge Analytica, this other company, did so. Fast forward to recent history here. And the big blow up that you heard about was actually the fallout when Facebook found out that that data actually was in fact not deleted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whoopsie. Yep. So that's where we sit right now. Data was gathered legitimately by Facebook's terms of services, which I think was pretty shitty. And then it was shared, which is against Facebook's terms of services, and then it wasn't handled properly to destroy the data. So this is where everything kind of blew up. So again, you know what Facebook is, but what's Cambridge Analytica?
So Cambridge, I'll go through this. Like Cambridge Analytica, basically they are a company that, their whole thing is about collecting data, gathering information. And they were essentially, that whole company, as I watched the video, its whole foundation is built on Facebook, and that ability to go in through Facebook and pop a quiz or pop some sort of a survey in front of one person and then collect the data from that person's friends, as long as all the settings are set correctly. Mm-hmm. And then from there, they use it for shady things. To give you an idea, though, what they are or who they are, Cambridge Analytica representatives, including CEO Alexander Nix, they're talking about how strategies have worked. Strategies such as this have worked in more than 200 elections around the world. So the whole thing about gathering that data is to kind of
manipulate,
exactly. Thank you. That's the perfect word. The culture of that country, I guess, or
a following
political landscape. Mm-hmm. So they can get an idea of what where people are, where their minds are at, where their likes are at, and potentially subtly manipulate them to sway potential elections and things like that. And a good example is the election in the U.S. when Trump got elected.
Yeah,
right?
that thing about this too is a interested and invested party in this company back just a couple of years ago was Steve Bannon, who happened to be the right-hand campaign man for Trump.
Yeah. So
now,
there you go.
There's still a lot of debate in terms of whether this type of manipulation really did play a factor or not in Trump's election. But it's worth noting, and I'm sorry I don't have the link for this, but there's actually an article set out a while ago showing in a study that with just 50 likes, with access to information on 50 things you have liked on Facebook, that they can get a reasonably accurate measure of your sexual orientation, your gender, and your race. Just with 50 likes.
That's
with
crazy.
250 likes, they say they can know you better than your spouse.
Nuts.
Holy shit, dude.
I've
this is the information these guys grabbed by the handfuls.
So to give you an idea as well in terms of what they're capable of, employees can even be disguised as researchers and even using the potentially sex workers to entrap political opponents. So they can go that far in order to achieve what they want to achieve or get what they want to get.
This is sleazy.
Yeah, it sounds like
sleazy.
a script out of a 007 movie.
Look at this guy in the picture here. He looks like that sleazy little shit of a person.
Yes,
he really does. I'm sorry, but he does. This is a little shithead that got picked on in school, and now he's paying the world back for being the underdog. That's what he looks like to me. Just say it. Say it, okay? Anyways, where this has led us now, first of all, is a lot of lawsuits. Shock of shocks. Now, of course, when it comes to lawsuits, Facebook's already facing like 6 of them as it is. And to give you kind of a sampling of the lawsuits that are out there, since, hey, your information kind of got handed off to the wrong people, and this is a big deal. And, of course, that means lawsuits. Hey, that means somebody's looking out for you, right? No, not at all. Let me give you a small sampling of the lawsuits that are out there. There's one shareholder lawsuit, Fan Yang or Yang, that's filing a class action lawsuit against Facebook over the drop in share price between the release of finance information on February 3rd and the release of this news on March 19th. So basically what they're saying is, they said, you guys lied. You guys didn't disclose this issue, and this caused stocks to drop. So anybody who got the February release of information went out and bought stock, got hosed because stock dropped quite a bit when this happened. So so that person is not really giving a shit about your privacy. They're giving a shit about their bottom line.
Their money. Yeah, exactly.
Another one from another person out of filed in San Jose's court is naming Zuckerberg as well as the CEO, Sheryl Sandberg, and a whole bunch of board members, saying that they consciously and deliberately breached their fiduciary duties, candor and good faith and loyalty, and reasonable inquiry, loyalty and reasonable inquiry to Facebook and stockholders. So again, another person in another court suing people for the exact same thing. Hey, you made our stock drop and didn't tell us. This is a problem. Now,
it's funny if I could say it's kind of like, I mean, there are two fronts here. One, the fact that it happened and they didn't tell anyone. Mm-hmm. They didn't inform everyone, hey, there might be a breach in privacy, blah, blah, blah. And the second is that, like, they didn't handle it internally properly to make sure that the data was deleted and so on. So, yeah, it's a two-sided thing.
It is. And to be fair, the people who are suing over the fiduciary aspect of this, they are correct. And they are within their rights to file these suits because it is a breach. Absolutely. But it makes me a little bit sick to see these people so quick to jump on board to sue Facebook because their pocketbooks got hit by this, and nobody's really kind of in it for helping the little guy, so to speak. Now, that said, it's not entirely true. Facebook is being hit with inquiries investigated by the states of New York, Massachusetts, Illinois, and Texas, as well as reportedly by the FTC.
Yep.
Now, these investigations don't usually pan out anyway. It's usually just to make government look good per se. However, they are also being hit with a congressional inquiry, that's the United States, as well as a UK parliamentary inquiry. Whoops.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of puff chests and posturing in the United States government. It really goes nowhere. It's just an opportunity for a bunch of Congress people to sit there and drill a company and make themselves look good for the next election. Mm-hmm. That said, the UK Parliament, or the EU in general, to be honest with you, has been real hot and bothered by American companies and not liking American companies at all, just for the fact they're American more than anything else. So they're not going to be nearly as kind to Facebook, I don't think.
Probably not. So, I mean, okay, so up to this point, basically you got FTC, UK Parliament, and US Congress all wanting answers from Facebook, right?
Yep.
Basically on how political firm Cambridge Analytica came to all this info, and I think ended up with about 50 million in total of data on 50 million users. So, you know, they said, hey, we want you to appear in Congress. We want you to appear before Congress and talk about it. Yep. And Zuckerberg's reply was just like, you know, happy to do this. I'm happy to go ahead and answer any questions you have. So
sorta.
Yeah, sort of.
To be fair, what he said was, if they want me to show up, I will. But they really should be asking, you know, the questions to the people who are most qualified to answer the questions. And basically saying is, I'm the CEO. I may not be the best person to ask these questions to. It may be more poignant to actually call in a specialist on the topic that we have, like the CTO
from Facebook, right? Okay.
Yeah. So he's trying to dodge. He does not want to get up there and sweat in front of Congress. And to be honest and clear, there's never been any any congressional inquiry in history ever that has ever gone well for the person being inquired upon.
Right.
It is there for them to posture and just you're expected to sit there and just take eggs to the face. That's what it basically boils down to. So yeah, Facebook is not doing well on this. Mark Zuckerberg's 15 minutes of fame on CNN interview, quote unquote, apologizing. Really
I missed
wasn't.
that. I didn't see it.
It's worth it. Just look up CNN Mark Zuckerberg apology. You'll find it, I'm sure. It's worth listening to. His attitude, he is honest. And there are, to be fair, there are some things he says that I can understand. Like he said, if you go back to, was it 2004 or whatever, when I first started this, and you had told me that at some point in my life in this company, I would have to be a steward of protecting the integrity of a political environment, I would have called you crazy. And to be fair, I can kind of understand where he's coming from. You don't go to a CEO of a company and say, it's your job to preserve our democracy.
Right.
I mean, I know I can catch a lot of flack for that comment, but I kind of understand where you're coming from. You're not gonna go to some tech company and say, hey, you need to make sure that Yellowstone doesn't turn into a super volcano and kill us all. It's like, dude, I made the Uber app. How am I fucking responsible for this?
Yeah, how does that connect to me? Yeah, I get it.
But I get where he's coming from. But still, nevertheless, it is a responsibility. And to be fair, if our system, if our democracy is so flawed that this asshat company can screw it up, I'm not really sure it's his fault.
You're not talking about Facebook. You're talking about Analytica, Cambridge.
I'm talking about Facebook.
Oh, you're talking about
if
Facebook.
a company like this can screw up our democracy, then something's wrong with our democracy. I'm sorry. Anyways, this has led to a big outcry. And the big outcry is the hashtag delete Facebook. Now, if you haven't heard this, I'm actually honestly shocked. I do find it a little funny because everybody's doing the hashtag delete Facebook on Facebook. It's a little bit odd, but okay. But it is not one of these little flash in the pan kind of armchair protesting type of things. It's become a concurrent thing, and it's picking up steam, and it's been kind of a pain. So much so that a particular big name, Elon Musk, has actually deleted his Facebook pages for both SpaceX and Tesla.
Did he delete them, or did he...
He deleted them.
Okay.
He straight up nuked his accounts on Facebook for Tesla and SpaceX.
Dang.
Whoop!
That's big.
Yeah, no, this is kind of a big deal because it is. This is a major player that whether you're into his cars or into space science or not, this is a influential person that's making a statement. Yeah. And this is not the statement that you as the CEO of the company want to hear.
It's someone that has eyes on him. So a lot of people look up to Elon.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, aside from other things, like he's the guy who's pushing, let's go to Mars. So there are people on this planet who look up to him like, yeah, I want to back him. Because we want the human race to go forward. So if he does something like this and delete the accounts, what do you think they're going to do? They might
post
just
on
do
Facebook
it.
how much they love the fact he deleted the accounts.
Post it first.
Yeah, so basically, guys, this is what it boils down to is there's a big movement now for delete Facebook. And so I'm gonna go ahead and step away from the articles now. We're gonna have a little bit of a dialogue here about how we feel about things. And this is where I get into the aspect of my opinions on it. Now, my friends know that I am not a big fan of Facebook, and to be fair,
I'm not either.
I haven't been a fan of Facebook for years because of the fact that they have flagrantly been unconcerned with my opinions on my privacy or my settings. I set settings in Facebook, and then they get undone.
Well, dude, I changed to be notified, so I'm not notified. I fucking get notified.
Yep. This has happened way back in the day with Facebook. You do your settings, they do an update, they undo those settings for you. For your convenience, of course. So that's one of the biggest reasons I don't like Facebook. The other reason is, with all due respect, the format, the layout of Facebook is such a hodgepodge. It is a shitty website.
Yeah,
okay?
it's terrible.
It really is. The format of it, how you do stuff, etc. It's very confusing. Getting to the settings was buried for a very long time. I'm not big on. That's one of the reasons why I really don't use Facebook that often. Facebook is not my main avenue. I might check it once a month, at most. Yeah. Okay, and most recently,
I went for years without having a Facebook account. Then I finally made one, and I can't believe when I look back that I've been on it for that long. And I keep thinking to myself, the last year and a half, I got to delete this. I got to stop. I got to delete this. I don't use it often. The odd time I'll post a picture.
Yeah, and so, anyways, so yeah, that's my personal. Even before all this came up, that's why I didn't like Facebook, and I really don't use it all that much. Now that said, I am a very open person. I post my information on sites like this with the strict understanding that I do not believe that there is a private element to any information I have here. I am assuming this information is going to leak somehow, intentionally, unintentionally, by default settings or whatever else. So I'm not terribly hurt by this in terms of, oh my God, it was so unexpected. Oh, I expect this. And I expect this because I know how the systems work. So it doesn't pain me in that way. But it does pain me to see a lot of people kind of shocked and amazed by this. Yes, this is going to happen. Facebook is the only one. It could happen to anything else.
Twitter
Understand,
like this.
when you put something online, there is a high potential for it getting out. Okay? That's all there is to it.
I'm in the same kind of mindset as you. Like if I post pictures or if I put information on there and they go snooping around to figure out who I am, my sex, and so on, so what? I'm a guy who likes posting ribs that I smoke, steaks that I cook. Big deal. What are they going to know? Like what? Whatever.
But again, it's oftentimes information can be extrapolated.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that sometimes the absence of information is information. But little information, a little bit here and there can add up to a bigger picture and so on. So it is important. Your information is important, but just understand this kind of thing happens. Now, where do we go from here? Do you delete your Facebook account? Sure. If you want to, go ahead. I'm thinking about it. I'll be honest with you. I'm really thinking about it. I don't use it enough to give a shit. The only reason why I started becoming more active on Facebook even a little bit was because I was going to try to use the podcasting page to help promote this podcast. But I just haven't got around to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not. I'm not sure that I really need this. Here's the thing. Let's have a hypothetical situation here. Let's do a thought experiment.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and delete Facebook. What happens? First of all, you lose that connectivity. A lot of people are on Facebook. That's probably the biggest driver of Facebook is everybody's there. As I said earlier, there's not the best interface. They have issues with privacy and whatnot, and they're not the best looking site to be on. There are plenty of alternatives that work better for privacy or look better for interface and ease of use. You can go to these other places.
MySpace?
No, because that's music devoted now, actually. But there are alternatives, and you can go to them, but they all lack one major feature.
Everybody's there.
Yeah, your friends. Your friends are the biggest feature of any site. So you really have to go with the flow wherever they decide to go next. Me personally, I'm going back to Google+. I've always had a Google+ account. If you have a Google anything, Gmail, YouTube account, anything you've logged into for Google,
you have a Google Plus account.
You have a Google account which has a Google Plus account attached to it.
Yep.
The interface and whatnot, it works well. Love it. It's my choice, and that's where I'm probably going to go back to.
Gotcha.
But there are a lot of other good alternatives, and depending on what your mood is, they may work better for you for the privacy aspect or whatever. There was it Elio, which is strictly all about privacy.
Okay, and I don't recall hearing about that one.
I had to look at it's like ELLO or something like that. But they respond because
Ello. Yeah.
They respond because of the lack of privacy that Facebook has. Like I said, this has been going on for a long time.
Right.
So, long story short, what it boils down to is there are alternatives. You're not going to be disconnected from the world. Your whole world isn't going to go dark. If you have friends that are hard to reach and Facebook has been the way you do it, just find an alternative way if you really care.
Yeah.
It is
text them.
your prerogative on what you do. If you choose to stay with Facebook, that's perfectly okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's perfectly. But just understand the situation. Understand they're collecting data. Understand have a really consistently bad track record. This is not the first instance, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the last instance.
Not going to be the last
of their poor judgment when it comes to privacy and preserving your privacy. If you're okay with that, then there's no problem. It is the most popular platform. You can't connect with a lot of people. You're good. But if you do have an issue with it, please understand and remember, there are alternatives. There are alternatives. Find a popular one, run with it. Anyways, guys, I do want to get your input on this. This is kind of a hot button topic for a lot of people I know. So let me know what your thoughts are, and we will talk about that some more. We'll be right back.
All right, guys. So it looks like we've reached the end of another episode of the BRG podcast. And so actually, I want to bring up something that's pretty awesome. So we're going to end it off with a few things here. Ziploc, on the last episode that we posted, put in a little blurb on the comment in the actual video regarding Toys R Us. And if you remember and you watched it, we talked about Toys R Us and the end of an era and Toys R Us closing. And he put in things like saying, you know, he's from a small town and he always enjoyed and loved going to Toys R Us because he would see the things that he wouldn't see in his small town, like, for example, Virtual Boy, Sega peripherals. He'd be able to pick up those oddities that just didn't show up in his town.
Everybody wanted the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, I know, really. So he basically, you could tell in his comment, it's oozing out of the comment that he's gonna totally miss Toys R Us, and I can feel for him. I'm so sorry, dude, but yeah. I know exactly where you're going, man.
Yeah, it's a sad thing. It's definitely a thing. Just a little side note to this, guys. We did bring up in the main notes. I wish I remembered to. In addition to Toys R Us closing down, the founder of Toys R Us has passed away.
Yeah.
So
it was like just after this all happened.
Just after the announcement of Chapter 7 liquidation, the founder has passed away. Larry.
I don't know his name.
Larry's, anyways, but yeah, so that's kind of sad. He sees the end of his legacy and then dies. Wow. Okay. Well, on a little brighter note, yay!
Yesterday, NachoPandaa and myself got a chance to dual stream a new game that just came out, and it's this game right here, A Way Out. Oh, damn. It is so good. If you guys are interested in checking it out, you can go over to my Twitch channel or even NachoPanda's Twitch channel. We're both, I think, part of BRG anyways, right?
Yes, you are.
And you can check out our VODs and see what we did and how it went and the fun we had as we were doing the dual stream. It's so cool.
And remember, guys, this is not just your... This is special because this is a game that is actually built on co-op for the game. So they actually are going to be working together to find their way through the game, helping each other out. So definitely worth checking that out. So guys, make sure you check that out. As always, you can see all the other sites and whatnot that KirrokCraft's part of, as well as things I'm a part of whenever I get around to actually doing things. Also with BRG, again, we are part of the bigger whole Bottle Rocket Gaming. We do have a website that is still under construction. Apparently Travis is building the cabinetry for it, so we're getting along there on the new website. I'm hoping to do some nice oak cabinetry and maybe some granite countertops. That'd be my preference, but I'm not in charge of it, so I can't really tell you. If you have an opinion about what BRG should look like when we're done putting the finishing touches and the paint job on it, definitely make sure you head over to our Discord channel and let us know. You can certainly visit us there. That's probably the best place to catch us, honestly. That's where we all talk and chatter at. And you can have fun there. We also do have a YouTube channel, obviously, because, look, here we are. You're here. If you like it, what you see here, please do me a favor. Go ahead and leave us a like. Say howdy if you'd like. And definitely let us know about your thoughts and opinions on any of the topics we have here. And of course, if you're more into the livey type stuff, we do have a Twitch channel, which you can go to. We do stream a lot of stuff on the Twitch channel. We have different people who all pitch in and stream on there. And...
Oh, yes.
Should we tell them? Should we tell them? Should we tell them?
Yeah, I say don't tell them everything. Just a tiny little...
Something's gonna happen soon.
Something's happening.
There you go. Moving. No. Yeah. So we do have some news that's gonna be coming up regarding the Twitch channel and the BRG podcast. That should give you a little bit to go on here. But actually, there's some bigger news to be had for it. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that off kind of vaguely for now. We'll actually talk more next week. Matter of fact, next week we are going to have a special guest on. You've actually seen him before. But we're going to have him on, and we're actually going to talk about what's coming down the pipe this year with new content for BRG, both here on YouTube as well as on our Twitch channel. So look forward to that next week. And of course, guys, if you want to help us out in any way, shape, or form, we certainly do appreciate it. We would love to have your help in terms of you being here, being a part of the community, being a part of these shows that we do, whether it's planning, helping, hosting, or whatever. If you want to be a part of it, great. If you want to be able to support in some way, but you don't really have the time to give, maybe you have the money to give. If that's the case, go ahead and go over to our Patreon channel and go ahead and drop us a few dollars here. We'll give you a hearty thank you for $1 and a really nice date with Kirrok for about $10,000. So figure out what you want to do. Yeah.
Once we go live, it's going to be hard to resist that offer.
Well, I tell you, somebody drops 10K on us. I'm like, hey, Kirrok, you're gonna need. Remember that whole thing about time off? You're gonna need it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Have yourselves a wonderful, splendiferously good evening.
Bye-bye.